Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is NurAzwa Binti Roslee. So my metric number is 276989. And today I'm going to present how to decode the data. Okay, so as you can see here are example that I use to decode the data. So the example are for the SNS usage frequency. So in here we're going to find mean, mode, median, variance, standard deviation, histogram, and also box plot. So as you can see here, in the SNS usage frequency, there will be three questions. SNS V11 which of the following social media account you have. SNS V12 in average how much time do you have spent on SNS daily, and then SNS V13 number of average posts uploaded weekly. As you can see here, in the SNS V11, you need to find the total. As we have 51 respondents. Okay, so in here you need to find the total for the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, in the total here we use count. we use count. We use count for 1. Facebook is take 1. Instagram is 2. Twitter is 3. TikTok is 4. Tinder is 5, and YouTube is 6. And then when you use count, you click enter. Then you can get 5. That means the respondent only use 5 social media account. One, which is Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube. You also can double click here if you want to make it all, or you can just drag. Okay, so for the next is in average. Okay, you do not need to do anything here because there's only one. And then number of average posts uploaded weekly. Okay, there are a few subunits from photo, video, wall status, and shared information. So here you need to find the total post of the average post that we need to find. Okay, so this one I use the function of formula sum because it state that the person or the respondent only post for one photo, but always status is 2 or share information is 3. So here we use sum. You can double click. As I said, you can double click, or you just can drag here until down. Okay, and then okay, so to find the mean and median, we need to find the average of SNS usage frequency. So to find the average SN usage frequency, you need to click here. The total the total count that I use in the question SNS V11, and then the response, and then the total post on the number of average posts uploaded weekly. This the function of sum. After you done, you can double click. Same goes, you can double click, or you also can drag until down. Okay, so now how to find mean, mode, median, variance, and standard deviation. Okay, so if you want to find mean, we need to use the function of, we need to find the formula average. So average, and then in this one, the number that example state number 1, number 2, you can use the column for the average SNF frequency. Okay, so for median, I use median. Same goes inside the column of average frequency. And mode, I use mode. And for inside here also SNS usage frequency column. And then variance, also I use VARA. For the inside here is SNS usage frequency column. Standard deviation STDEVA. I use the SNS usage frequency column. Okay, and then after you done, okay, now we want to make the histogram. So if you want to make the histogram, okay, you need to click all the average. You need to click all the average SNS SNS usage frequency, and then go to insert. Okay, so here there will be many table. So this one is for the histogram. Okay, this one is for histogram. So if you want to find more, you want to look to make it more screeners, you want to not clear about this table, you can adjust here. You can adjust here. Okay, you can adjust for the number of bins. Okay, for example, let's say I use 12. See, you can know if it is squared to the left or the right or it's a normal one. Okay, so that's example for the histogram. Okay, now how to make the box plot. Same, you need to click the column for the average SNS frequency, usage frequency, goes to insert, and then there will be box plot here. So here is ready, this one is ready. State that here is quarter 1, this one is quarter 2, this one is quarter 3. This is lower and upper, this lower and upper. Is min and max. And then, okay. So how to make sure is it true? Okay, you want to find the quartile 1, 2, and 3. Okay, you can use formula, which is here. Quartile 1, you can use quartile.ex. And then array mean the column for average and frequency, and then 1 is mean quartile 1, while quartile 2 same goes. Array here is the column for the average as usage frequency, and then click 2 is mean quartile 2. Okay, so let's see. Okay, and then same goes to quartile 3. Okay, if you want to make sure is it true, you can check back here. Okay, seems like this one I already done the box plot. Okay. Okay, so now let's see the quartile one is 3.3. When you click here, the quartile one is 3.3, and then here quartile 2 is 4.333, and then the quartile 3 is 4.667. Okay, so as you can see here, we know that box plot is ready. It's ready. If you use the find the box plot, it's ready state that Q1 is what, Q2 is what. But if you also can to make sure to make sure is it true your quartiles by use the function. Okay. Okay, so then so from the for the histogram. Okay, as I said that histogram I make it into 12, so that easy for me to know clearly is it squared to the left or right. So because it's more to the left, so it is squared to the left. Okay, so to make sure that there's another way that I find how to in easy way how to find the squeeness, mean mode, and median, and so on. So here are the way. Okay, I will show you. Okay, so you just click the data and then go to data analysis and then click the descriptive statistic and then you click OK. And then here you click the column for average SNS usage frequency, and then click the label. Remember to click the label in first row, output range, summary statistic, and confidence level for mean. Okay, this one is for the which column do you want to see. Okay, so let's say I click this column and then you click OK. Okay, so you can see here the mean is same with the one that you use using the average formula. Then mean mode is same, and then this one also show you the squeeness of the table. So its mean here is squeeness is to the left. It's mean negative. When it's mean negative, it's mean to the left. So it's true that it is skewed to the left. So it also show you minimum and maximum. As you can see here, the minimum and maximum. So the minimum is 2 and the maximum is 6.33. So they are the another way that you can find that can you use to check whether your way is true. So that's all that you can find here. how to find the mean, mode, median, variance, standard deviation, histogram, and box plot. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you.